Just Beavin special edition. This is not going to go down as episode whatever. Episode 18 is coming out tomorrow. The traditional recap, preview, power rankings. That's tomorrow. But we have a special edition of Just Beavin here today. Got our panel, myself, Andy, Drew, JP. This is the playoff special. This is where we let JP, our commissioner, turns into Steve Kornacki Jr. He's going to run us through all of the playoff scenarios through the wonderful tool that we introduced on the show a couple of weeks ago, thanks to Cam Kruk, that he made in his free time for us. Be rep in Illinois. But that's our plan. This is going to be quick. This won't be a super lengthy installment, a super long show. We have our normal regular show at full length coming tomorrow, but we feel like we had to do this just to kind of give everyone an idea of playoff scenarios, what needs to happen here in week 14, and we'll go more in depth with the week 14 matchups tomorrow. But this is just very, going through everything, and we got to utilize this awesome tool that Cam made for us. So without further ado, JP, the floor is yours. Do your thing, man.
Yep. So this is the current bracket as it sits after week 13. We have Frank, controls his own destiny, sitting in the 1 seed, win, and he continues and gets the bye week after starting the season 0-2. Then moving on, we got sitting in the 4, we got Matt in the 5. Drew and Andy matching up first week of the playoffs could make for some good playoff drama on the show. Sitting at the 3 and 6, and the Moo Dang Maulers. And even after the drama this week, Zip still holding down the 7 seed. He also controls his own destiny, a win and in. But yeah, as Andy was saying, more so me than the other two. I felt it necessary to really do this episode because I know a lot of you, more of you, the ones who are on the outside of the playoffs looking in, shout out to Luke, have been bugging me for the past couple of weeks about wanting to know what they have to do to get into the playoffs. And so how I'm gonna go about this is I'm just gonna break down the 7th seed, and then I'll give scenarios for how everyone who's still able to can become the 1 seed. And there is just so much that can happen between 2 and 6 that we'd be on here for an hour if I broke down every single scenario of how that could happen. So as I'm giving the scenarios for the 1 seed, I'll just kind of fill in holes, trickling down all the way to the 6 seed because the 7th seed will be affected by the 1 seed, and there's really a lot that
It's
can
a whole
happen, and
bag,
it's
man.
it's just too much to really get into. But so we're gonna start with the 7 seed right down here. As of now, it's Zippy's to lose. The one's still in contention for the 7th seed. I'm not even sure that one of them knows he's still alive. But Zippy, Luke, Jack, and Kale. Kale still has an outside shot of getting into the bracket. And so the first scenario is Zippy wins and everyone else is out. That would be the boring scenario where we have no drama. And as you guys will see in the previews tomorrow, it's a very good chance that that's the scenario that's going to play out here. I've got some pretty unfavorable matchups this week. Then we move on to if Zippy loses, this opens up the door for all 3 of these guys now. We have Luke, who is taking on Matt here as we go to our little handy tool here, the team scores tool. Shout out to Cam Kruk. This thing is awesome. It's
My
super,
boy.
comes in handy. So yes, we got Matt and Luke right here playing against each other. So, we give Luke this win here. We give Matt a little 0 right there. We go over to the matchup. So we look at records here. We got Luke sitting with 8 wins, 8 and 6. Zippy loses, he would only have 7 wins, which would vault Luke. Oh, wrong one. Which would vault Luke into this 7th seed, taking out Zippy. Now, if this happens and Luke wins, this would fully eliminate Jack and Kale as well, as Jack has 6 wins now and Kale has 6 wins now. So that would also be a pretty simple scenario. I'm actually on an outside shot rooting for Kale to get into the playoffs because it would be so much. The group chat would be electric. The next scenario would be then if Zippy and Luke both lose, which they're both facing good teams, so it is possible. That moves up Jack. with a Jack win, who's playing Ty. That would put Jack, Zippy, and Luke all at 7-7. And I can't even believe I'm going to say this. We're actually going to go over to the team scores just so we can put this into some real perspective here. Jack is averaging 121 points per game. Okay. Luke is averaging 134, and Zippy is averaging 150.
Does that
Jack.
134 include the one that you just put in?
Oh, yes, it would. I apologize. So Luke's actually oh yeah, I mean he's still averaging 134. It really didn't. I don't know how that's possible, but
You have him at 0 now.
That
oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. Sorry, guys.
That's always averaging.
So he's
That's
averaging
crazy.
144. My
Okay.
point is that Jack's only averaging 121, and Jack beat both Zippy and Luke, and so Jack actually holds the tiebreaker against both of these guys. And so if Zippy and Luke lose, that opens up the 7th seed again. And now we're looking at, oh, what is this? A new team in the 7th seed? The Monocle Gentle Sir makes the playoffs and matches up with Cam Boyer round 1. The worst team, dare I say, in playoff history, could make a run all the way to the final 7th seed. Could be. And now my favorite scenario. We get all 3 of them to lose, Zippy, Luke, and Jack, which, when you guys see the previews tomorrow, is very possible. Kale going up against Drew, which he has the hardest matchup of those 3 guys, unfortunately. But he does have Jamar Chase. But if all 3 of those guys lose and Kale pulls off a win, Kale also holds the tiebreaker over Luke and Zippy, making him 7-7. And once again, opening up the 7th seed to Dr. Sins, PhD, who would be taking on
That's
the
crazy.
Moodang Ballers.
This is pretty riveting stuff.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, I think 3 weeks ago, we were like, oh, yep, Kale's season is over. There's no chance Kale's making the playoffs. And, yeah, then I was doing some math today, and I saw that it's actually very possible for Kale to end up making the playoffs. So those would be all the scenarios for the 7th seed. None of those teams can get any higher. The teams who are 1 through 6 can't get any lower than 6. There's actually a big win margin at this time that separates them. The closest we can get is Zippy or Luke with 8 wins, but everyone else has 9 and up. So they are, all 4 of those teams are fighting simply for the 7th seed.
For a seat at the table, for a trip to the dance.
Well, perfectly said. The next scenarios that I know much less of you care about, it's really only the teams in the playoffs. This is really just for Andy and Drew and me, and then anyone else who will listen to this. Cam Boyer is the 2 seed. There's no way around it. Or I mean, in theory, he could lose to Dade, and Matt could win.
Stops.
But Cam Boyer is the 2 seed. He can't jump any of the North teams. The only teams left in play for the 1 seed are Andy, Drew, and Frankie. Frankie's in the driver's seat. He wins, it's his. If Frankie wins, Drew, you would be the 3 seed. Assuming you no, even if you don't win, you're the 3 seed. Well, actually, never mind. I just remembered. I just read my paper and I just remembered. If Frankie wins and Drew loses, Matt Hendricks jumps all the way up to the 3 seed.
Wow.
He would be a 10-win team, sitting at 10-4. He'd be the 3 seed, holding the tiebreaker over Drew in what was a slaughter a week ago. That would then push Drew down to the 4th seed, pushing me to the 5th seed, and putting Andy to the 6th seed. So let's just look at that on a little table here. Let's look at that real quick. We flip flop this. We get the, what's your team name? Chewbacca? Is that what you are, Drew?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Kornacki Jr., I'm starting to do some
Yes.
good math in my head here. I think I know my path to the 1 seed.
Let's hear it, because I've got it written down. Let's see.
Do I have to win this week and Drew needs to lose?
You have to win this week, Andy, and guess who has to lose? Drew has to lose.
Yep.
Drew has to lose, and then you're the 1 seed.
I feel like I'm getting smarter just like as we're talking through all this. Like I'm starting to pick up what needs to happen. I'm sure some of the people watching this are like, Andy, you're a complete moron. That was an easy pickup. But sometimes I just like to step back and listen. But no, okay, so that is my path.
And for the sake of the rest of this, I'm just going to leave the 7th seed blank because it obviously depends on who wins ours and blah 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 blah. We're really just now we're focusing on the 1 through 6. Drew, what was your immediate question that you were about to have?
No, I'm just saying I feel real confident about this week. I think I'm gonna end up with the 1 seed. I'm just gonna be
Yeah, and
honest with you.
this is the scenario I'm hoping for. Um, this
This
is
is
what I'm
certainly not the
actually.
scenario I want.
This is what I really want.
I
This
don't
is
want to
what I
play Matt.
really want. I would love to play Frankie and then, or I mean Drew. Already looking ahead, and then potentially either take out Frankie or the Mudang Maulers going into the next round. Well, and
So,
again, it depends on who the 7th seed is because I could still end up playing Matt
so
or Andy.
are you basically locked in as the 4 seed or 5?
I can't get lower than yeah, I'm 4 and 5. I can't. I don't think I can. I don't have written down anywhere where I can get to 3 because I'm a win behind. So
So
unfortunately,
I
and
basically am only playing JP, Drew, or Matt. That's my
Correct.
matchup.
yes.
And then
Jeez.
I'm either playing you two or I have a bye.
If Frankie wins this week, Frankie has 11 wins. If Drew loses this week, Drew has no because Drew still holds a tiebreaker against me. Yeah, I can't get any
Yep.
higher than the 4 seed is my peak, and I
So
can't get any
say
lower than the 5 seed.
so let's say I beat Frank and Drew wins. Drew's then the 1 seed.
So
So
you
do
beat Frank.
and Drew wins against Kale. So then Drew becomes
Uh-huh.
the 1 seed. Where does that leave?
Well, that puts
Uh,
you here. That puts you at the 3.
okay.
That puts Frankie with 10 win. Are we assuming I win or lose?
We're assuming you lose.
Okay, if we lose, oh, then right there I become the 6th seed actually.
Oh
Because
Jesus.
that'll
Okay.
move
Wow.
that'll move Frank. What the hell is Frank's name? Oh,
So
the
this,
Buffaloes.
I mean, not like trying to Jake. So this could be the most likely scenario. If Jake beats you, which we already talked about the 7th seed, that is the projection. So if Jake beats you, if I beat Frank, and if Drew wins, I play you again, JP.
Yeah, so we're saying I lose. This
Jesus.
is if we're saying I lose, this is the playoff bracket. This would be the playoff bracket. If everything's how you just said it, this is how this would line up in a
So this
week.
would
Oh,
be the
that 4-5 is a good matchup.
Yeah.
Must
So you're
see
saying
TV.
so let me rephrase this real quick. So you're saying if I win this week, Frank loses, Yak loses, and you lose, this is the bracket.
Well, Frank and Yak can't lose is the problem.
Oh, I
Yeah.
meant well. So if Yak wins, I mean, or
This
Yak.
if you win, Yak wins. We're assuming Matt. Well, this is assuming Matt beats Luke too.
True.
Do you see what I'm saying? There's so many
So many moving
keys to
parts.
so yeah.
So I'm thinking like, do I punt my match? No, I can't. I don't have the dignity to punt my match.
You're because so then
we're gonna
if
play.
if Matt
Please
loses
don't.
as when you guys get to the previews and stuff, there's a chance Matt's gonna lose this week and I lose. This is it. This is all that gets flipped.
Oh, geez,
Yak,
that's also terrible.
you gotta put into it too. If you forfeit, like if you like tank, you lose a second round pick.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you
That's
do.
what.
Oh, that's right. It's
Yeah,
after
you
week
do.
11. No, we're
Yeah.
gonna let the boys play. You know what? Things are gonna play out as they are. It's really unfortunate because I believe I held the 1 seed for like 3 weeks, if not longer.
I actually just realized that in theory, I can't play Kamani Vidal. I just realized that because he's
Do you have
technically.
anyone projected higher?
Yeah, I have Kareem Hunt, but I think
Oh.
Vidal's going to outscore him, so whatever. That's whatever. But that just made me realize that. But anyways, yes, this would be the bracket then. If Drew wins, Frankie wins, I lose, Matt loses, Zippy beat me, therefore putting Zippy into the 7th seed. This would be the bracket. The way our spoiler alert, we did this in 2 parts. We did the real episode first. If the way our previews, the way we chose Luke to win, me and Drew did. If that ends up happening, this would have this is what the bracket would be. If everything we pick this week occurs, this would be the scenario. I mean, flip flop Frank and Andy. If we're basing it on how we pick the guys to win, this would be or no, Andy, because you won. We're saying we already had you at 3. My apologies.
Yeah.
So then that's what we'd be looking at.
Man, I really need Drew to lose this week, and I need to win.
Yeah, you need. Yeah,
that
you
is
you get. Yeah.
yeah. I really need that. I didn't realize
So
how much I needed that to happen until it's now been painted out in front of me. Yeah, Kale, I am your biggest fan this week. I mean, it's all for nothing if Frank beats me.
So,
But hope
Kamish, can I? Oh, my bad, Yak, my
no,
bad.
you're good. You're good.
No,
What do you
I
got
was just
for me?
gonna ask you. So, is this the playoff bracket that you think is gonna end up happening? This one right here.
Is this my prediction? No, I mean, I think I'm gonna beat Zippy. So then I just flip flop me and Frankie. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
Wait,
yes,
so you're telling me
I
you're
think this
telling
is the
me
most likely playoff scenario.
so you're telling me if oh, yep, yep, yeah, wow. Okay. I was gonna say Frank can't get the 3 seed, but yeah, you jump all the way to the 4 seed because Yak will beat him this week, so
Yeah,
wow.
and if Frank wins, Frank's either the 1 or he's down to the 4.
So regardless, I'm playing Frank regardless. Uh round one or round two.
That's assuming that Frank wins.
Or
Did you
round
just write?
I mean,
Did you just write me off?
no, I'm just saying
Whoa.
like
I'm the
Whoa.
highest scoring team in the league here, dog.
I,
I don't know what you're writing me off for.
well, I'm just saying that there's a good chance that I play Frank. If I get the 1 seed, I'm playing Frank regardless, round two, or you regardless.
Well, yeah,
This
you
is
have to play one of
blasphemy.
them, Drew.
No,
That
we
is how the
reseed.
matchups work.
We reseed, guys.
Oh, that's
We
right. I
reseed.
forgot the lowest seed comes to me. So
So
if
you'll get
Matt
the lowest seed.
if Matt would have win, okay. Or if that Jack wins, hey, go Jack.
I can't believe he just that just happened. Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Bookmark
I
it,
beat
clip
Frank.
it,
I'm 1-0 against Frank.
clip it.
Hey,
Drew, how
I
did you
props
do
to you.
against Frank? Did you beat Frank?
I didn't,
Mm.
but I'm liking how my team's going, so I like it.
Anyways, yes, I think this is the most likely scenario. I think there is a scenario where Frankie could get the 1 or the 3 seed, which we'll walk through right now. Or did I already walk through that one? I have not, have I? Andy, if you win, you're the 1 seed.
Well,
And
Andrew's
if
got to lose.
Drew's got to lose, which would leave Drew and Frank both with 3 wins, which would put Frank with the tiebreaker, as we just discussed seconds ago. That would put Frank as the 3. That would put Drew as the 4,
It would
and
put the
this would
cousins
be the
against
new
each other.
playoff bracket. This would be the new playoff bracket.
That's wild. That is
This is
insane.
fun. This is
I
great.
will say,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said, Kale, I'm rooting for you even more this week than I might have been before, man. Yeah, that 1 seed is very coveted. This is the most coveted 1 seed in the history of Beaverfest. I mean, we're only a 3-year league, but without a doubt, I mean, it's not even close. This is the most coveted 1 seed
Oh,
we've
it's got
got.
to be. You got to avoid a bloodbath as much as you can in this
Yeah.
this first round, because
Wait,
literally all of these matchups are. I mean, if this is how it plays out, these are the 7 best teams in the league. So this is exactly who you want to see in the playoffs.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna hope for that 3 seed. Yak, I kind of want you to lose. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? Who do you play if you get the 3?
I play you, but I'd
Yeah,
rather play you.
I want to play you too. So
Yeah, but I'd rather.
That's why.
I'd rather.
That's why Andy was talking about throwing.
yeah, if I throw, I mean, I'm not going to surrender to the pick, but
But
if I were to throw,
but
I'd
here's
play
the
you.
thing. But here's the thing. Like, if I win this week and you win this week and I get the 1 seed, like I have a good chance to at least get some money.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the perk of the 1 seed, is you're
Yeah,
automatically going to be playing for in one of the games for money.
yeah.
Yeah,
You have a 75% chance of getting money. If
Yep.
you don't, you just suck. So
exactly. Yeah, this is fun, boys.
yeah.
Is that all we got? Is that all of
Yeah,
our
that's pretty
think
much
situations?
so.
that's pretty much all we can do. I mean, I pointed out the one where Matt can climb as high as the 3 seed, didn't I? I did that.
Yeah.
I believe I already did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's everything. That's all we got. I mean, it's unfortunately there's not like a whole lot of like the past couple years we've had so many 7-7 records tied for the 7 seed, where I've had to dive into the record versus common opponents. And then even then we've had to pull from points for, which rarely happens. For those who would be curious, it goes head to head as the most important, then the record versus common opponent, and we define common opponent as teams with the same record as you. So if 4 teams were 7-7, if you swept those 7-7 teams, you'd have a 3-0 versus common opponent. And then we do points for. While points for are cool, We like this system because it allows for Cinderella runs, as we've talked about every episode. The 7th seed is one every year, so
Yep. Never lost. Never
yeah.
lost. All right,
Yeah,
folks.
nice.
That'll do it. Like we said, the normal episode will be out tomorrow. Or yeah, so this is coming out Wednesday. Traditional episode tomorrow, but felt like we had to get on here and run through the playoff scenarios, not only for the guys in our league, but just for everyone else who tunes in as well, because there's a lot at stake to come here in week 14. Thanks so much for tuning into this special edition playoff special here of Just Beavin. We will catch you all tomorrow for our regularly scheduled program.